We'll all die someday.
I don't want to die.
And when everyone's gone, even the gods will die.
We don't want to die.
I don't want to die.
Senua, stop.
Turn back.
Stop.
Senua.
Senua, wait.
We know we've been horrible to you this whole time, but like, stop.
Wait a minute, we don't want to die, don't kill us. We love you, really.
I'm sorry. I didn't ask you to be a part of me. If you don't want to die with me, then leave me alone.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to die. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop.
Please stop. Please stop. You'll never come back if you go there.
There is nothing to go back to.
We only have each other now. Don't abandon me.
Everyone suffers. They were right about me.
Listen to me, not them.
Oh my god.
They were afraid. Like children scared of the dark.
Nega Senua.
So was I.
They made up monsters to fill the void. That doesn't make them real.
They made
We're gonna get that, like, halfway boss battle from Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Between Link and Link.
Soul and let go of the Senua of old. For there lies your
No, she just went through and was like,
darkness will find
you can die, it's fine.
Okay, now that we're here, I'm like slightly less stressed about the whole like perma-dying thing.
Yeah.
Is it? The noble warrior facing evil in search of victory and honor. Clear dividing lines.
Oh, this is where it's like, look how many lore stones you missed.
Oh, this place is not quite like
Not
that.
many. We did pretty good.
It's
As
okay.
if it knows that true torment lies within. Memories you cannot defeat, cannot escape. This is her hell.
Her hell. Hey, Dillion. Oh, that's
I'm
mom.
guessing she was burnt as a witch.
Turn away, Senua. Turn away, Senua.
That's dark.
You see it, Senua. You see the darkness, faces of fear and suffering. I see it.
Did the Celts burn witches? Be interesting to know.
I think quite a lot of cultures did.
I remember it clearly now.
But even if it was not burning her as a witch, her
She has nothing to fear.
husband and Senua's dad was like, she has the darkness too, and it's a danger. And he was a priest, so
Yeah.
some sort of ritual to get rid of the demons and therefore also her.
Yeah.
It is the will of the gods.
Fuck the gods! You did
Fuck
this
the
to us!
gods!
Fuck the god!
Why?
This is what happens when you listen.
Is
to
that the
voices
first time
of
we've
the
heard her
unknown.
drop the F-bomb?
Yes. This is also the first time we've seen any part of her father's body.
Yeah.
Defy the gods like your mother, and the darkness will come for you.
Well,
too.
the gods are rude.
Yeah.
You understand, Senua.
It does look like a Blair Witch. I just realised that this game has made me realise that I don't really know much about the
I don't
Celts.
understand. You cursed me.
Speaking
No
of which, did you know that Megan Fox
I was
produced
such
an
a child.
archaeology show?
No?
You created this darkness! You created this darkness so you could hide behind it!
kind of want to watch it.
Only suffering brings salvation. It is the way of the gods.
Why is there a giant naked guy? Is this a boss battle? Do I have to fight this thing? Fuck
Yeah,
off.
and I think this thing is her dad.
You,
Oh fuck.
and so you killed her.
You didn't pray to the gods.
Oh, my sword is low.
Prayed to your mother. Your mother, who was too weak to fight the darkness and abandoned you.
You tortured her. You killed her. You are the
Those rituals, the years of isolation,
Hellblade sent
the
was
pain
daddy this year.
that still haunts you. It was the only way to fight the curse within you. The darkness is inside you and it will destroy you.
You're a liar.
He is a liar.
Yeah, he's a liar, and I'm okay conceptually with the fact that the final boss is like my ableist father, and I get to like murder him, but
Yeah.
but I don't actually want to be in a boss battle with this thing.
Kill me.
It's okay, we get low guys first.
Excuse me?
And some cool music.
Okay, well I didn't switch on my focus, so that's fun. That's really
You
fun.
don't have your focus, but also your sword seems to be like super powerful
Yeah,
right now.
it seems that it doesn't matter whether they're corporeal or not right now, so that's cool. I hate that one because he's like it's both heavy set and fast.
Berserker type.
Yeah. Well, you know how like your enemies are usually in most games like either heavy set or fast and
Yeah.
light. But that guy is...
Tiny fast boys or tanky slow boys.
Yeah.
Or like
those are the
shield
words.
wielders.
That was soft.
Well, yeah, I'm interested that they're still there because her voices apparently died when she went into hell.
Yeah.
They manifested as her and then died.
Oh, they still whispering.
Maybe that's just her internal voice.
That's interesting.
Like your sense of self-preservation that's like,
Rather than auditory hallucination.
yeah.
I love to button mash.
Yes.
Right in the ass every time. I love that for me.
Ooh. Sword is so cool.
Yeah, I want to check Blue sword.
Blue. Ooh. Yeah, that's definitely her voice. It's her voice actor as well. Interesting.
Like, is she dead, like, for real now?
No idea.
I know how you had this theory that she might have been dead the whole time.
Yeah.
I can see through your darkness. You're a liar and a murderer. And if you really are Hela, then I have a sword here that can kill a god.
What am I supposed to... What am I supposed to do? Because it doesn't seem like a focus thing.
Oh.
Oh!
Oh, you just run. You just go.
Run forward, moving backwards to wallow your misery.
Fuck you, Dad!
She's not wallowing, she's accepting the pain that she's
You're
gone
making a
through.
mistake searching for Dillion.
Oh, okay, here's your second arena.
They could kill
Yeah.
you in the first
Love
place.
that for me.
I'm trying to save you from yourself. You still believe it is a lie? The plague of darkness, the butchering of Dillion by the Northmen. You saw it yourself.
You told everyone I was cursed.
And that's on ableism.
Where is Dillion's soul if the darkness is alive? How you saved me?
Just because her personal darkness is a lie.
He's here.
Oh god, what just formed behind you?
I know he's here.
Just because her personal darkness is a lie doesn't mean like the concept of hell is a lie and like the rest of their
Dillion.
mythology.
I know you're here. Hold on. I'll find you.
Dramatic music time. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? And he
Flamey
has a fire
boy.
sword. Fuck me. Eeh. Wow, I mean cool, but terrifying.
Yeah.
Behind you.
Oh, he's got like pyramid head.
Hmm?
His head's like pyramid head shaped. From Silent Hill? Is that what pyramid head's from?
I'm not sure. Okay, cool. Now I'm fighting this thing and this
Two of them.
beast.
Oh god, big dog. Oh, verb. Oh, it's all of the enemies you fought before.
Yeah.
This is that trickster guy. All the ravens. Way back when.
God, yeah. It feels like a lifetime ago now.
Yeah.
Like, this game is not that long, and it
No.
feels like it's been a lifetime.
And we haven't taken that many breaks in filming.
No. Like, this is our third and final record session.
Dillion! Where is he? You're trying to trick me again with your lies. I know he's here. You took him from me. You have him.
Dillion is gone. Dillion is dead.
This is kind of cool, the bridge, like, falling into place and stuff.
He's
That was-
smaller.
Or
Okay,
what?
thank God.
What can he do to me?
Like, because, you know, if he was gonna be that size and the game was gonna make me fight him, I
Yeah,
was
just
gonna
like
flip
slapping his leg.
like with my tiny sword.
Yeah. Also, love that she just said, like, what can you do to me that you haven't already done?
That's got
Yeah.
you. Let go. Let go of redemption. Let go of Dillion.
She's not gonna let go.
The darkness and anyone else.
Yeah, I'm guessing you can't hit him until you get rid of the one.
No, I wasn't trying to.
Yeah.
It's just the way
He's
the
just there, like-
movement in this game works. So I'm just chopping my way through them at this point.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Nice dodge.
Thank you very
Double
much.
dodge.
Oh, so many fucking enemies.
That was a big jump.
I'm just chopping through them.
What's up?
I mean, the sword can kill a god and stuff.
Yeah.
Should hope it would be able to do this.
Went through enough to get the sword.
Yeah. I like this gentle, whispery head voice.
Yeah.
She's nice. See, nothing wrong with head voices. They just need to not be assholes.
Don't enjoy this wiggling.
No. Also just accepted that I've only got one headphone in now. I think it's all the button mashing I'm doing. Senua, could you please,
Aim.
aim? Thank you. Not just swing your sword around in no particular direction.
Oh,
Dad!
under him.
Ugh. Nice little flicky this. I can respect that.
This guy's got some flourish.
Yeah, he has. He really has. There's someone behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm just a bit like meh about this because of how it's the 20th time that I've like had to fight off an army
Yeah.
as well. I'm like, is this supposed to be like an epic final battle? And I'm just like, okay, but you told me that like last week that we played as well.
Yeah, and like throughout this game, all she's had is a sword and then a god-killing sword, but the god-killing sword is like not that different to the regular sword.
You don't have to fight
Yeah.
anymore. What's happening?
Like, there's not been any sense of scaling really.
Yeah. In the combat.
No. Didn't even get a shield.
No. Yeah.
Could have been useful.
And you're so right that like the god sword has not made much of a difference.
No, it's just blue.
Surround them. Careful, Senua.
It's just blue and made us go through trauma and puzzles.
Let go.
Yeah.
Go, Senua.
Come on.
You're killing yourself.
What is she saying? Is she telling me to let go?
She's saying let go, you're killing yourself, you don't have to fight anymore.
Die. Behind
Well, I do, though.
Yeah.
Well, not because I've chosen this, but because this fucking game is making me.
Yeah, if I die I just have to restart the fight.
Yeah, I feel like I spent like
you. You've done it.
a lot of time saying that I'm happy to give up on this quest. Excuse me?
Oh, maybe you had to.
Okay, yeah, maybe I was just fighting until I got smushed.
Huh?
Mom? Also, his silhouette has love handles. I kind of dig that.
If you're alive, and there's no doubt, then you never took him from me, did you? And I can't save Dillion. Is that what you want me to believe? After all you've done to me? And to him? You're not a lie, but you're a liar! You crawled into me to confuse me and deceive me. But I know he's here. I know you have him. I'll give you my life. That's what you want, isn't it? My soul. Take it. I'll be a slave for you. I'll fight with you at Ragnarok. If you release it.
Who's she chatting to?
I think Hela.
Yeah, that's what I guess. She kind of seemed to see Hela and her father as like the same.
Yeah.
But if you won't, you will have to kill me. Because I've got nothing left. No fear. No hate. No quest. Nothing. And you will have no power over me.
I mean, it kind of sucks that this whole story is like literally or figuratively, like however you kind of interpret it, about processing grief, but then at the end she's like, well, if I've lost him, then I have nothing in my life and I might as well die.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
I learned the hard way to not be afraid of death, Senua. Because a life without loss is one without love.
What is grief if not love persevering?
You turn your back on death, and all you can see is the shadow that it casts. The longer you hide from it, the longer the shadow grows until all you can see is darkness. When our time comes, we must look death in the eye and embrace it as a friend. Only then can we...
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like he would have wanted her to just give up on life.
Yeah.
Without him.
Like, I can see where her desperation has come from, given that, like, her community turned their back on her. And
Yeah.
so she, like, exiled herself out of the pressure and then came back and everyone was dead, including the only person who ever cared about her.
Yeah, that is really important to say, because, like, the whole situation of, like, the disableism that she was treated with by her community and by her father is, I guess, the reason why she feels like her life is not worth living.
Yeah.
And he was the only person who made her think for a little while that maybe it was. This is, like, gorgeous and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
it does really come back to the fact that, like, when this game started, she was socially dead.
Yeah.
So I guess that was the only thing
Never
that could ever
forget
happen.
what it is like to see the world as a child, Senua. Every autumn leaf is like a work of art. Every rolling cloud a moving picture. Every day a new story. We too emerge from this magic, like a wave from the ocean, only to return to the sea. Do not mourn the waves, the leaves, and the clouds. Even in darkness, the
Look at
wonder
that voice
and the
with the voice
beauty
of
of this
Hela.
world never leaves us.
Oh, the narrative.
Yeah.
It's always there, waiting to be seen again.
Voices are back.
Oh no. Oh.
Oh, wait. Is she alive then?
I think so. And I think that conversation with Dillion was him being like,
Wait. Wait.
just because you've got to the end of this road, you can't give up.
It's different. It feels okay. Is it okay?
This is
It
where my
feels
story
different.
once began,
It's different.
and so it has to end here,
It's changed.
because I cannot see further than this. Follow us. We have another story to tell. My friend. Go with her.
Okay, this music is like
This
completely
now will be your
jarring.
story.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Like, I dig it, but it's not the tone. of
No.
it.
Okay, I have two confessions.
Yeah.
Number one, these have both come from talking to Josh about the game. Number one, we were kind of silly for thinking that she was going to die at the end of the game, considering she's the main character of the next game.
Well, I didn't necessarily think that she was going to be the main character.
I didn't think so either, but then I rewatched the trailer and it literally has her name in the title. And the other one is, there's no permadeath in this game.
Well, there isn't.
It's a lie.
What? What?
I know!
What do you mean it's a lie?
I only found out last week, but Josh was like, the game tells you that there's permadeath to instill this fear in you, but you can die as many times as you like. And I was like, okay, I won't tell Sarah though, because like, we need to keep going.
Excuse me?
Zed, did you pluck 50 out of the air?
No, I googled it.
And did it say 50?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you could die infinite times. It never reaches her head.
Off camera is my flatmate, by the way.
Yeah.
Who googled for us how many times.
Because we were concerned it was like 7.
I'm so mad about that. Okay, again, can I maybe like understand why that is a useful tool to like instill fear in the player? Yeah, but like, for what reason? There are so many. I want to love this game. It had such a compelling story. It honestly like did deal as sensitively and as compassionately as people said it did with psychosis.
Yeah.
Which is rare, not just in video games, but in any media.
Yeah.
It's like one of the huge things that is a credit to this game is that I've probably never seen such a like compassionate portrayal of like psychosis.
For sure. And the fact that the voices came back at the end is like, oh, she's not restarting her life without them. They're a part of her.
They're a part of her, and they're not all bad. And, you know, throughout the game there was that as well, like we talked about it, like not all of the voices were like berating her, sometimes they were really helpful. And that the way that worked in combat was really evident, because there were so many times where like a voice would be like, look behind you, or watch out, and that would prompt me to...
Or focus.
Or and that was really like well done. What other praises do we have of this game?
It's beautiful.
It's
it
gorgeous.
looks beautiful when it's not completely shrouded in darkness. It's stunning.
Yeah, I think that there were a lot of times where it was too dark, in my opinion, but overall, like, it was visually stunning.
I think the cutscene cinematography was also really beautiful and really well used, in that it constantly felt like Senua was having a conversation with the player.
Yeah, the use of perspective in this game, both in terms of like visual perspective and narrative perspective, was really interesting. I think that I would really love to come back to this in terms of like analysis, but can I see myself playing the whole thing again? Absolutely not. So we're just keeping the footage there so that I can rewatch us playing the game to analyze it instead of playing it again, because like it was an experience. I don't regret having this experience. I think that it was too, because of the way that in particular the puzzles were designed. Like the combat was okay. It could have been better, I think.
Yeah, it was like fairly standard melee combat.
Yeah, like you said, there was no sense of like progression. When, you know, for example, you get the god sword, and in most games that would mean that like the combat would change.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you'd learn new moves or new blocks or whatever, but like, for example, the block mechanic, when a lot of the new enemies were introduced, became completely redundant.
Did they have like unblockables?
Yeah, their you know, warhammers or their weapons were just too powerful for a block to work. Blocks only really worked on those first level enemies. So the combat just kind of like stayed the same throughout, and also like the fixed camera angle in tandem with the voices telling you, you know, to evade or look behind you made sense as a choice.
Yeah.
But I also didn't love it. But I think part of the reason for that is maybe even less because of the fixed camera angle and more because like that one roll, like evasive roll that you could do was such a short one, and she just didn't move quickly enough. So yeah, the combat definitely left a lot to be desired, but it wasn't like bad. I think the main thing was just how obtuse the puzzles were, and just the complete lack in this game of like helping the player to know what they should be doing.
Yeah, I mean, like, just the closest we got to a visual waypoint was occasionally following the lanterns, but even that wasn't a reliable method of realizing what we needed to do. Absolutely no on-screen prompts for like where you need to go, signifying the fact that, like, for example, when we were struggling with that puzzle and it was because the gates weren't activated because you hadn't pressed the door, there was no way to know that we hadn't pressed the door.
Yeah, especially if it was like we had died, or we'd like, you know, stopped recording the previous week and come back to it, and the game didn't make it clear like, oh well, we saved before you clicked on the door, or did the last thing,
or you have this rune but not this one.
Yeah.
And it's, it's just like, I feel like there's a really high barrier for entry. Like, so much of us getting through that game was based on previous knowledge of other games. You know, like when you've just played video games enough that, like, for example, you see a barrel, like a gas barrel in certain games, and you're like, that's flammable, if I hit that it will explode.
Yeah, and we were... Okay, it's only combat difficulty that you could change in this game.
I think we discussed at the beginning, like, it might have been useful to have puzzle difficulty settings.
Just kind of any accessibility.
Yeah, being able to change anything about the subtitles other than on or off, being able to have waypoints, or, like, a brief description of what you were doing before you saved.
Yeah.
Or a mini-map.
Literally. So I think it's, you know, we talked a bit before about how there's a real tension between the fact that this is, in terms of the narrative, compassionate and really nuanced portrayal and story, about like a disabled person
Yeah.
versus playing the game is super inaccessible, and like various people with like various impairments would not be able to access this game.
Yeah, it's like they went hard on like one thing.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, kind of like in a broader sense, that's really telling to me of how, you know, I think that a lot of people don't view or understand mental illness and neurodivergence within disability politics.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that sometimes that really shows. For example, when you write a game about a mentally ill person and then you don't think about disabled people playing your game.
Yeah. You like separate those two things in your mind and don't take the steps to make sure that everyone can play your game that you would with like a game that's not focused on a disabled person. Just, yeah, I don't know, the sheer lack of settings was quite surprising to me, honestly, given when this game came out. 2017.
So that's like quite recent, you know. Yeah, you know, I think the thing is as well that I was quite taken aback by how difficult this was to play and like how obtuse the gameplay was, because I had seen so many raving reviews about it, and like, again, kind of as we've said, you know, in a lot of aspects, which are mainly the narrative, I agree with that, but I had not seen anyone like talk about how difficult this was to play.
Yeah.
Even like when we were chatting about it in our Discord server, of our patrons was like, yeah, I couldn't finish it because it was too difficult.
Yeah, and like even when I've talked to Josh about it and I've been like, oh, this could have been more accessible and this could have been more accessible, and he was like, yeah, but you're meant to feel in the same position as she is, and I'm like, yes, I understand that, but I feel like I can experience her experience of psychosis while still being able to play the game.
Yeah, literally, like the
thing with accessibility options is that they're options. You don't have to have them turned on.
Yeah, and also I think that it's such a damaging idea that making a video game accessible means that you can't portray certain things through it.
Yeah, no, it's just not the case.
Like, there are other ways of portraying, like, the suffering and stuff that she's going through. Like, maybe I wouldn't have been as anxious about the permadeath thing if, like, the gameplay wasn't so difficult, you know?
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, it's just like...
It was a lot.
Yeah, and I think that there are, like, ways of portraying these things that aren't inaccessible, and I think that I just really resist the idea that the two are mutually exclusive.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I think...
Like, I don't think adding accessibility options would ruin the atmosphere of the game at all.
No, not at all. If anything, how difficult it was to play hindered me from engaging more emotionally with the story.
Yeah, the fact we had to keep looking up a fucking walkthrough literally removes you from the experience of the game.
Yeah, absolutely, because, like, my reason for walkthroughs always being a last resort for me is that I want to, like, experience a game just, like, as completely as possible, but, you know, if it's at a point where I'm like, okay, I can't figure this out,
yeah, if it's getting
no
to the
shame.
point where you want to throw the controller across the room,
yeah,
then the internet exists for a reason, and that reason is to walk us through video games. But yeah, the second Hellblade game is called Hellblade 2: Senua's Saga. It was announced at the Game Awards 2019, and this is one of the key images for the game.
Cool, that's interesting. I mean, that definitely changes. I mean, like, you know, this was happening, we thought that she was gonna die.
Yeah.
And
especially with the opening to the game being like, her story has already come to an end, and we were like, okay.
Yeah, well, I think it was reasonable to think that she might be dead, you know.
For sure, yeah, definitely.
Especially because, like, I think it could have still been possible that, like, she died in this game and there was a second game about her, because, like, you know, this game was very much like, you know, one of the things that they accomplished very well was that sense of, like, what is reality and what is, you know, a vision. In various senses of the word.
And also the full immersion of, like, human people interacting with, like, the worlds of the gods.
Yeah.
So, like, it would be a fair assumption to think, like, okay, she's passed on to some sort of afterlife, and that's where the second game takes place.
Yeah, one of the things that I think that this game did a really interesting exploration of is how, you know how I think we were talking about how a lot of myths use various impairments, usually blindness, as metaphors
Yes.
for things, and I think that the running thread of like having the lore stones and the myths, especially the Nordic myths, have all of the like weird body stuff happening to people.
Lots of weird body stuff. The whole she transformed into someone and slept with her own brother to create a pure baby.
Yeah, and there was definitely one about someone going blind, and obviously, I mean, we talked about
Odin losing his eye.
Yeah, and we talked about our issues with that level, which again, for me, really shows the discrepancy of understanding between physical and mental disabilities. But yeah, that thread of kind of how mythology deals with those things, and then what her actual experience was, and how she was actually navigating the world, was really interesting. I don't really have like developed thoughts about that yet, but I think that the fact that they wanted to tell a story about someone who lives with psychosis, and this is the setting they chose, is an interesting and significant choice.
I really liked that final confrontation where she was like, everything that I knew about myself and my experience of life was a lie that you put into my head to fit with your beliefs about the gods. If the gods would not have done this to me, fuck the gods, this is just who I am, you're the real problem.
Yeah, which, that's social model discourse right there. Yeah, I think I would definitely come back to this game for like a deep dive.
I am excited to play the second one, especially as it's coming out, I don't know, maybe end of this year? I'm not sure. It's slated for next gen consoles, so hoping that over the like 3 or 4 years that they've had, that maybe they've done some more consultancy and like listen to some feedback. I would be interested to find anyone else talking about the issues that we had. I feel like it's one of those games where people are worried about criticizing it because it did such a good job of representing psychosis that people are like, I can't have any criticism of this game because I'll be seen as criticizing like the disability positive game, in the same way that people can be quite sensitive about criticizing queer movies because they're like, well, it's the only representation we have, so if we can't criticize this because then they'll be like, oh, well, it's not worth making another one.
Yeah,
then.
which, you know, that's not like a productive approach, right? The reason that we certainly, like, for me personally, like, the whole purpose of criticism is not to just slate people, it's to be productive.
Yeah, it's to ensure that better stuff continues to be made, and to recognise the successes, and then to be like, oh, but we can build on this thing.
Yeah.
And with a direct sequel covering such a specific, like, impairment and experience, it's the perfect opportunity to go like, okay, let's look at what we did. This went down really well. No one really talked about this, and this, or we received criticism about this. Let's fix that in the sequel. Especially, I'm interested to see what they do with haptic controllers with the PS5, actually.
Yeah.
That could be interesting with the haptic feedback. God, I want a PS5.
Yeah, me too. I really want a PS5, but they're so expensive.
Game Assist crowdfund for PS5.
If you liked what you saw, please support us on Patreon so that we can afford a PS5 and we can play the new Hellblade on PS5.
As it was meant to be played.
Yeah. Yeah,
overall, I'm glad we played this game. I'm glad I wasn't in control of the remote because I think I would have lobbed it across the room at least once.
I'm also glad that you were there when I was like at breaking point.
So I could be your spatial awareness and also cross that one bridge.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for watching, coming along this journey with us.
It's been a journey. I'm very excited to play the next game. I will probably play it for the channel, right? Yeah. I again, don't think I would play it in my own time, just in case. What did you think of this game? Did you like agree with what we said? Did you not agree? Let us know. Did you have any other difficulties?
how did you deal with that? And yeah, if you've seen anyone else talking about the issues that we've talked about, please do link us, because they seem to have been lost to the void of everyone being like, it's a great game.
Potentially, you know, expect like a deep dive into this in the future.
Yeah.
Alright.
See you next time. Bye!
Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give it a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. If you aren't already, remember to subscribe and hit that bell button to know when we upload next.
On screen, you can find this whole playlist for this Let's Play, and you can find a link to our latest video essay. If you like what you see, consider supporting us on Patreon. The link to our Patreon is in the description of every video.
Thanks again so much for watching, and until next time, take care.